On the 9th of July 1850 in Tabriz, Iran, the 31-year-old Sayyid Ali Muhammad, the Bab, was executed. This execution was carried out by not one but 2 regiments of 750 men in each. The first attempt by one of the regiments resulted in the Bab, after the smoke cleared, was not to be seen. After a search ensued, he was found in the room he had previously occupied, dictating some final words to his secretary. Upon finishing the dictation, he was taken outside, and the second regiment of 750 men was called up, as the first had left, not wishing to participate further. This time the result was fatal. The martyrdom of the Bab, with the young male follower who asked to share his fate. Here are some writings of the Bab, Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha and Shoghi Effendi for our reflection on this highly significant day. Is there any remover of difficulties save God? Say, praise be God, He is God, all are His servants, and all abide by His bidding. Worship thou God in such wise, that if thy worship lead thee to the fire, no alteration in thine adoration would be produced. And so likewise, if any recompense should be paradise. Thus and thus alone should be the worship which befitteth the one true God. Shouldst thou worship Him because of fear, this would be unseemly in the sanctified court of His presence, and could not be regarded as an act by thee, dedicated to the oneness of His being. Or, if thy gaze should be on paradise, and thou shouldst worship Him while cherishing such a hope, thou wouldst make God's creation a partner with Him, notwithstanding the fact that paradise is desired by men. Fire and paradise both bow down and prostrate themselves before God. That which is worthy of His essence is to worship Him for His sake, without fear of fire or hope of paradise. Although when true worship is offered, the worshipper is delivered from the fire, and entereth the paradise of God's good pleasure, yet such should not be the motive of his act. However, God's favour and grace ever flow in accordance with the exigencies of His inscrutable wisdom. The most acceptable prayer is the one offered with the utmost spirituality and radiance. Its prolongation hath not been and is not beloved by God. The more detached and purer the prayer, the more acceptable is it in the presence of God. Ages rolled away until they attained their consummation in this, the Lord of days, the day whereon the day star of the Bayan manifested itself above the horizon of mercy, the day in which the beauty of the All-Glorious shone forth in the exalted person of the Bab. No sooner did He reveal Himself than all the people rose up against Him. God said, He is my witness, O people. I am come to you with a revelation from the Lord your God, the Lord of your fathers of old. Look not, O people, at the things ye possess. Look rather at the things God hath sent down unto you. this surely will be better for you than the whole of creation, could ye but perceive it. Repeat the gaze, O people, and consider the testimony of God and his proof, which are in your possession, and compare them unto the revelation sent down unto you in this day, that the truth, the infallible truth, may be indubitably manifested unto you. The more he exhorted them, the fiercer grew their enmity, till at last they put him to death with shameful cruelty. As for the barb, may my soul be his sacrifice. At a youthful age, that is to say when he had reached the 25th year of his blessed life, he stood forth to proclaim his cause. It was universally admitted by the Shias that he had never studied in any school and had not acquired knowledge from any teacher. All the people of Shiraz bear witness to this. Nevertheless, he suddenly appeared before the people, endowed with the most complete erudition. Although he was but a merchant, he confounded all the ulama of Persia, all alone, in a way which is beyond imagination. He upheld the cause among the Persians, who are renowned for their religious fanaticism. This illustrious soul arose with such power that he shook the supports of the religion, of the morals, the conditions, the habits and the customs of Persia, and instituted new rules, new laws, and a new religion. Though the great personages of the state, nearly all the clergy and the public men, arose to destroy and annihilate him, he alone withstood them and moved the whole of Persia. Many ulama and public men, as well as other people, joyfully sacrificed their lives in his cause and hastened to the plain of martyrdom. The government, the nation, the doctors of divinity, and the great personages desired to extinguish his light, but they could not do so. At last his moon arose, his star shone forth, his foundations became firmly established, and his dawning place became brilliant. He imparted divine education to an unenlightened multitude and produced marvelous results on the thoughts, morals, customs and conditions of the Persians. He announced the glad tidings of the manifestation of the Son of Baha to his followers and prepared them to believe. The appearance of such wonderful signs and great results, the effects produced upon the minds of the people and upon the prevailing ideas, the establishment of the foundations of progress, and the organization of the principles of success and prosperity by a young merchant, constitute the greatest proof that he was a perfect educator. A just person will never hesitate to believe this. There came to him also the vision of those holy men, those pioneers and martyrs of the faith, who had fallen gloriously on the field of battle, and who with their lifeblood had sealed the triumph of the cause of God. Their sacred dust seemed as if reanimated by the gentle tread of his feet. Their shades seemed to have been stirred by the reviving breath of his presence. They looked to him as if they had arisen at his approach, were hastening towards him, and were voicing their welcome. They seemed to be addressing to him this fervent plea: "Repair not unto thy native land, we beseech thee, O thou beloved of our hearts. Bide thou in our midst, for here, far from the tumult of thine enemies who are laying in wait for thee, thou shalt be safe and secure. We are fearful for thee. We dread the plottings and machinations of thy foes. We tremble at the thought that their deeds might bring eternal damnation to their souls. Fear not," the barb's indomitable spirit replied. "I am come into this world to bear witness to the glory of sacrifice. You are aware of the intensity of my longing. You realize the degree of my renunciation. Nay, beseech the Lord your God to hasten the hour of my martyrdom and to accept my sacrifice. Rejoice, for both I and Kudus will be slain on the altar of our devotion to the King of Glory. The blood which we are destined to shed in his path will water and revive the garden of our immortal felicity. The drops of this consecrated blood will be the seed out of which will arise the mighty tree of God, the tree that will gather beneath its all-embracing shadow the peoples and kindreds of the earth. Grieve not, therefore, if I depart from this land, for I am hastening to fulfill my destiny. Say, God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or in the earth, but God sufficeth. Verily, he is in himself the knower, the sustainer, the omnipotent.